health coach and dietitian with Health Team Advantage. This is Chef Rocky, and today we're down at the Creative Aging Network kitchen again for our Living Plus moment. And we're going to be talking about some immune boosting ingredients that go into this delicious Moroccan soup that will help you not only start building your immune system during this time of the year, but also it's very soothing. It has lots of delicious anti-inflammatory ingredients that will help you if you do get a cold or the flu during this time, because it's also a great comforting type of soup. So let's get into some of these ingredients, Chef.
Yeah, it's gonna be a perfect soup. I don't know what the weather is by you guys, but it's rainy and dreary and dark here, so it's a perfect day for a little easy soup. So what we're gonna do is just gonna start off with a little veggie broth on the stove. Hit the high heat, get it boiling so it's ready for us. We're just gonna cut this. We're trying to keep it relatively even as far as sizes go, because then it'll cook all at the same time. But you guys know what I say. This isn't a Michelin star restaurant. It doesn't have to look all great. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't want any tiny spot pieces. We don't want any big pieces because they will cook unevenly. But as you see here, just making a couple slices here and there, very short and slow. And then I'm just gonna take it across like this.
And this is your red potato. And then he's also gonna be cutting up an onion, a little bit of lime, and then we're gonna be adding it to some of these other delicious ingredients, which we'll go through as he starts cooking.
Yeah, this was not on the ingredients, but I do like to add a little acid to everything. Some people use lemon. I think lemon's a little on the tart side, and this is a little bit less tart. We're gonna get these diced up. We're gonna put them in the broth real quick because it takes the longest to cook out of all these ingredients. There you go, that's how quick that was. As you see, that took maybe about a minute. And we're just gonna throw them in the pot right about now to get them boiling.
And the red potatoes are one of those other flexible starches that you can add, save a few from another dish, have a few extra, toss them into your soup because they're readily available. They cook really quick and easy. So, great nutrients because you can leave the skin on them and they look pretty in the soup as well. And
as long as you're cutting some, you could actually cut a couple extra, save them for breakfast, throw them in a frying pan, throw them even in a air fryer or something like that with a little oil and salt. And that's all you need.
Okay.
Always ends up to be a good little breakfast treat.
Okay, great. So what's your next step? We're gonna put this into the boiling.
Get this cooking right now, so it'll be ready by the time we're done with all the rest of the prep.
Okay, perfect.
And then next, I'm just gonna cut up one whole onion. It seems like a lot, but onions tend to have different strengths. This is a white onion. Usually people use Spanish onions, which is a little bit more on the tan side, and red onions can be very strong. So this is a nice milder one. You can actually smell the difference right now. It's a little bit more mild, like I said, but what I like is that the stringent, harsh taste isn't there of like a red onion. Red onions you tend to use a little bit more because they have a little bit more just like astringent acid taste, maybe like in a guacamole where the fat counterbalances it. So right now, we just cut it in half, cut the tips off, peeled it. I usually like to go one full layer. Some people try to get the outside off, but I just try to get the whole layer. And then a clean cutting board is a safer cutting board.
Okay.
So then what we're just gonna do is, you can see claw right here, right? So the blade touches your knuckles.
Okay.
And we're just gonna make little tiny slices. You can go take your time, not cut all the way through. That's where we're leaving the root on.
Okay.
So the root can keep everything nice and bundled together.
Okay, great.
Just like this right here. Don't cut all the way through. And that's a lot of reasons why the chef knife is shaped the way it is, right?
Yeah.
Because the tip won't go all the way through the product unless you want it to.
I like that tip as well because onions can tend to be a little slippery, and sometimes it can be a little intimidating trying to hold on to the onion and trying to slice it up and get the good balanced size of pieces that you want in your soup or your dish.
Right, and if you don't feel comfortable about it, just cut it off and do it a longer way. If you don't feel comfortable doing a huge one, make it sections.
Okay. Great.
Don't overwhelm yourself. This is just nice and easy, right?
Yeah.
Nice and easy. And the onions don't really matter too much if they're the same size, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them in this pan and we're gonna brown them up a little bit. This is how you level your soup up to the next level.
And
Okay?
the good thing about using that white onion, like Chef mentioned, is all of these delicious nutrients that we're going to be talking about in a minute, like the fire roasted tomatoes and the chickpeas, and then you have all of your spices like your turmeric and your paprika, which you can use the spicy one or the non-spicy one, the garlic, all you know, kind of mixed in together with the vegetable broth. All of these things are bringing in those good anti-inflammatory properties that we're needing for this delicious soup and to help boost our immune system. And so the onion is going to kind of be in there to bring all those flavors together, which is great.
Yes, sometimes depending on how you cook an onion, it adds a little sweetness. So that'll counterbalance a lot of the harshness of the turmeric and the hot paprika and actually all of these, even the fire roasted, it'll take off a little bit of the bitterness from the black parts
Kind of mellow.
that are roasted. Yes. And what I like to do with onions sometimes is actually make some of them small, because that makes them more sweet, and then I'm going to make some of them just a little bit bigger,
Okay.
because this will add texture, and this will add more sweetness. So sometimes I like to add a little bit different size in my onions just for soup usually, because you'd like to get that little bite and a little texture. And as we all know, in soup, texture is sometimes hard to come by. That's why you do like roasted pepitas, which is squash and pumpkin seeds on top of soups, right? Like at Panera.
Or some people like to put like croutons or some type of little crispy, cheesy wafer or something like that. But for this meal, you know, we wanted to keep it simple, because if you're not feeling well and you haven't already prepared this ahead of time, which I would recommend, obviously doing some meal prep ahead of time and freezing, or putting some of this away until you do need it. But this time of year, just the getting ready for the cold and flu season, building up your immune system by adding some of these ingredients is great as well. So I like how you're mixing those.
Yeah, and to what you said, some people, they have soup when they feel sick. As to what she said, have it before you feel sick.
Right.
This all will help you fight anything off during the winter.
And it tastes delicious too. So, you know, you're going to be trying something new with lots of different flavors that maybe you haven't put all together in one recipe yet. But it's so simple, so easy. You're just measuring out ingredients, even as much as the onions. Like for me, sometimes I'm in a rush. I don't want to deal with the smell of the onions on my hands, or while I'm cooking, I buy the frozen ones. You know, you can throw those in there.
Yeah, I don't recommend buying the frozen ones for basically anything except for soup.
Right.
So perfect idea. I was going to mention that you can even get morning fries for this.
Yeah.
If you do feel sick, you don't feel like doing all this prep. So like you said, go get frozen onions. Go get morning fries that aren't cooked yet. Sometimes they're pre-cooked, like par cooked it's called.
Yeah.
So then you can just throw them directly in with everything and it'll end up cooking at the same time. A lot of people are unfamiliar with most of these products. Obviously not so much garlic, maybe not so much paprika, but this is supposed to be hot paprika.
Yes.
Chickpeas, you know, not so much. Ginger is mostly Asian. Black pepper, yeah. Turmeric for sure. This goes a long way. Use a tiny bit of it.
Exactly.
And
in this recipe, the reason that they're married together with the black pepper is the curcumin, which is part of turmeric, is the active part that you're going to be using for anti-inflammatory purposes, usually requires a little bit of black pepper to make it more active. So again, all of this mixed together in this recipe is going to make the outcome delicious and nutritious, which is our goal today.
And as you see also, you just want to keep your diet on a regular basis with as many colors as possible.
Exactly. And if you're going to make any drastic changes, obviously if some of these nutrients are and you're worried about it, always check with your physician and make sure that changing your diet or boosting your diet is something that they approve as well. But these are ingredients that you can find in any pantry for most people, in the kitchen, while you're shopping at the grocery store, and easily can be added into any recipe.
We're gonna get to the stove. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cook this up for a little bit.
Okay.
It enhances the flavor, it releases the natural oils. It'll add a little bit of color and sweetness to it. We're gonna add this at the last second and then this at the last second just to bloom the flavors.
Okay.
Literally 35 seconds to 45 seconds with both of these. I'll throw this in first and then the garlic.
Okay.
When you start to smell the garlic, count to 10 seconds and you're done.
Okay.
All right, let's go to the stove.
All right.
So what we're gonna do here is we just have a little bit of olive oil and the onions. I don't know if you can hear it over there, but it's starting to sound really good and smell even better.
It does smell really good.
We're just getting these to be a little translucent, and I know everybody's like, what's that mean? So it just gets a little clear.
Okay. That sounds good.
So we're gonna start slowly adding some of these ingredients. Here's a ginger, just to bloom it up a little bit. I'm gonna actually add turmeric to the water. There we go.
And again, we'll post the recipe and have it available so everybody can look at the exact measurements that go in to the soup. But so far, this is already looking and smelling delicious.
Okay, turmeric. We got those two in. Now a little paprika. If you use hot paprika, just don't forget
It's hot.
it's hot.
Yes.
Moroccans
So
like
you
it
can
hot.
use the regular. You don't have to use the hot, but the hot does give it a little bit of a kick.
Little black pepper. Get it going a little bit.
And it's turning a beautiful golden color in the soup. And then the onions are getting a little reddish color from the paprika.
Shove off a little bit, go to the side. Add a little salt,
Okay.
sea salt. Let's add it. Okay. And then you can start to see them around the outside getting a little translucent. So I'll give it like one more minute and then add the garlic. Ooh, now you can really smell that.
Okay. Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Ooh, that smells great. Okay, what I'm gonna do actually, I'm gonna add these to add a little bit because it needs a little bit of,
The fire roasted tomatoes are going in now. So
needs a little liquid.
you can see it all
So,
mixing up together.
okay. And then get this, once we start hearing it again, then I'll add the garlic.
Okay.
So there it goes, it's starting to bubble a little
Sizzle.
again. And then, depending on how much you like, I like a lot of garlic. So I tend to just add a ridiculous amount like this. I would probably do half that if I was you.
Okay.
I'm adding a little more,
Okay.
because I'm crazy. Like,
Wow,
I'm just
that
rinsing off the
smells so
spoon. Yeah, and you can really start to hear it now, right? Perfect timing.
Oh yeah.
And now, literally, when you start smelling up here, you can smell the garlic over here, but when you start smelling it and it gets very aromatic, that's when you stop.
Okay.
Garlic burns really fast and easy, so does sugar. So you really want to be careful when you add garlic to things because you got to keep that in mind. Now this is roaring more, you can hear it. It's getting a little loud. I'd say it's perfect timing. I would say that's about 45 seconds, about maybe a minute after I put the garlic in. Kill that. Slowly add this. Ooh, and one other chef trick so you don't spill is you pour onto a utensil like this. So it doesn't make big splashes, right?
Okay, great.
And then you don't want to forget all that goodness because that right there is Flavor Town. That is all the essential oils that have been released. You can see how dark it is.
So your spatula is a good idea in rimming the pot with that, which
Yeah,
is
like
great
a-
to get
like a-
all of it out.
Like a good baker. Okay.
Wow, that looks so good.
I mean, it looked like just some boiling liquid before,
Yeah.
but now it looks like a really good soup.
Oh yeah,
So,
and smells even better.
we're just gonna get that to a boil again because we just added some new ingredients and it usually takes about a minute or two to get boiling again. Let that simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes and we're good. I think I'm just gonna go add this last minute, maybe
Okay.
even just as a garnish for every individual, so maybe they don't like it. But you have that option. You can do it now or at the end.
So how long are we gonna leave this cooking?
Yeah, 10 to 15 minutes at a boil. So it's
Okay.
not boiling yet, so don't start the timer yet. Start the timer when it starts to boil, then it's 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, perfect. All right, we are done putting all these ingredients together, letting this boil. And I gotta tell you, it smells fantastic. Also looks delicious. Lots of colorful ingredients in here to make that immune boosting Moroccan soup just really come to life.
I'm telling you, the smell is great. And you do want to taste as you cook. I forgot to mention that, but I think it needs a little bit of acid. And some of the things have a little bit of like harshness to it, like the turmeric and the black pepper, and ginger, dry ginger can have a little bit of like an acid tingent to it. So this actually will help balance all that out. And what I do is, well, there's a ladle here that has the serrations in it, so you can use this as a guide to save all the seeds. But limes usually don't have too many seeds anyway, so I'm just gonna go with, we're at home, right? I washed my hands just now anyways. This is how the safest way to do it, because I've bitten on a seed before and it is not enjoyable.
I like that tip with the ladle though, because again, you see ladles that have the holes in them and you're like, okay, is this to strain the food out? But now we also can see how you can strain things going in.
Yes.
Which is great. I like that.
And it'll clean off the ladle too.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
Oh wow, it smells yummy.
Yes, and a little stir. And I'm not sure what you would like for garnish. Some people like I said, maybe like a crispiness to it.
Okay.
Maybe a crouton. I think my wife would like maybe a little sour cream on there. You never know, like a chicken tortilla salad.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much an amazing soup. And as you can see, I think we accidentally made a little bit too much. That recipe, I followed the recipe pretty much to the T, and you're definitely gonna have some leftovers.
Yeah.
What you can do is you can freeze it. Make sure you leave some room so it doesn't expand and break whatever you're freezing it in. And
Again.
as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the best soups that I've made in quite a long time.
Yeah.
Wish you guys could taste it.
It's a great recipe. Again, all of this is going to be available on our YouTube page, our Facebook page. Go to the Health Team Advantage website. You can scroll down to the Living Plus icon as well. There's lots of ways to reach it. And then send us any questions or comments, anything that you may have. Again, we really appreciate you joining us again today down at the Creative Aging Network Kitchen, and following us on our YouTube page and our Facebook page at Health Team Advantage.